It is that time again. Welcome, everybody, to Breaking Boundaries podcast. Come on in and join the fun. Really looking forward to wrapping up our final episode, part 4 on Speak Up, Overcoming Self-Sabotage in Communication. How's everybody doing? Hey, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome back to our Breaking Boundaries, your dedicated space for growth and transformation. I am your host. For those who are coming in for the first time and wondering who am I am Ruth McCracken, and I'm thrilled to guide you through another episode where we will basically dismantle the barriers to success. Now, today we zero in on a common yet often overlooked aspect of professional development: how self sabotage can impair effective communication. Now, if you haven't seen the previous part 1 to 3 in our series, we've been exploring various dimensions of self sabotage. And I want you to go back and hit the replay. You may want to even binge watch or binge listen to it, because we went from recognizing and divorcing basically self-defeating behaviors of mastering to mastering a mindset geared towards what? Success. That's what we're aiming here for. That's what we're already here to do. If you haven't, my friend, listened yet to these enriching discussions, go back and put those on your reminder so you can be able to indulge in those, my friend. I encourage you to go back and also share, and basically share with your peers, your friends. Check them out and let me know your thoughts on it by commenting here below. This helps provide not just valuable insights, but it also is going to help you build upon each other and will enhance your understanding of what today's topic is going to be about. And today's topic, this episode is going to fully focus on 3 don'ts of communications when self-sabotaging is at play. How many of you all find this to be huge as well? I'm glad you're here, because we hear from you. I hear from you. I speak with you all on a constant, continual basis. And we'll also hear about, and I'm not going to identify her by her actual name, but for the sake of context, I'm going to call her Jane. Yes, Jane, she basically struggled to advance in her career because, and many of you all may be also going to relate to this as well, often putting others' needs first. How many of you all do this instead of her own? She putting other people's needs before hers. How many of you all can relate to that? This not only was hindering her ability to communicate effectively, but also assertively. Always putting maybe your family first, which is fine, but sometimes when it comes to your needs, how are you prioritizing that? We're going to go ahead and talk about it in a more of a spiritual aspect, because I do believe in the power key principles when applying spirituality to it. And it also speaks on so many levels. Let's talk about speak truth in love. Oh, I love this particular scripture. Ephesians 4:15 tells us to speak the truth in love. This basically helps encourage us to communicate honestly, but communicate with passion and compassion. How many of you are maybe find that you have that lack of empathy? Well, it is super viable in overcoming passive or aggressive communication patterns. And you want to be able to emerge this with compassion, keeping the person in front mind. And also, you want to be emotionally intelligent on how you're effectively want to engage it with speaking in truth, and also adding some compassion. Sprinkle it. Sprinkle some compassion goes a long way, my friend. And then the second part of scripture that it really holds and it goes really deep inside for me as well is Proverbs 13:3. Whoever guards his mouth preserves his life. Oh my gosh. Now I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this. I want you to be able to understand where am I going with this, emphasizing the importance of thoughtful and intentional communication. Sometimes we have to be, not sometimes, oftentimes, even if your team may have stepped out of line, or maybe your children, or maybe your partners, you want to be able to be presently communicating in a way where you're being less reactive. And we're going to talk about that when it comes to more of the 3 don'ts on communication. But let's move it on, and how are we going to harness this with scientific studies and facts on communication and communication. So studies in communication, especially around psychology, many of you all may not even know this, and maybe finding this to be as a reminder. emphasize that assertiveness training can significantly impact career advancement. Breaking the assumptions that we cannot ask for what we need without conflict is crucial for your career growth. Now, let's talk about how this is going to be put into practical sense and how these three don'ts in communication can hinder someone's growth and also communicating more effectively. So, number one, don't assume understanding. How many of y'all can relate to this? Let me know in the comments. Don't assume understanding. Think of a recent miscommunication, whether it be in your workplace, maybe part of your team, if you're a business, if you're a service provider, or if you're maybe driving, or if you're maybe an HR executive driving in an operational HR operation team. The point is, could it have been prevented by asking for a clarification? So I want you to think of this. I want you to maybe, for example, you may have sent out a communication email where you're going to do a gathering, maybe a potluck or something inside of the workplace, and everyone maybe who works remote is now encouraged to meet at a on-site location. And for whatever reason, maybe 60% of the team showed up and not 100%. And so somewhere down the line, there may has been a miscommunication, whereas if you maybe had one channel of communication, especially for those who work remotely, how many of you all think that you may need multiple ways of being in contact if you're working remotely? Maybe perhaps having an application called Microsoft Teams, where you're messaging everyone through a mass group communication. We often use that as well. I think having multiple ways of communication matters versus the email. The email can be swarm in with so many other memos, oftentimes may get dismissed. I would want to challenge you on practice active listening and clarifying points in your next conversations. So basically give ways on if you thinking that, hey, emails may not be the top priority, even though it's one resource, using and leveraging other applications that definitely would help you have access and increasing your communication to be more effective, whether it be, like I said, Microsoft Teams and other related application tools that you know to be true, like Asana, Monday.com, Slack, just to name a few, that actually helps you to close that gap of communication. Let's talk about tools. Is this helpful? Let me know that it's bringing you to a sense of closure of knowing that self-sabotage is no longer going to be part of your behavior patterns. We're dismantling it together right now. Step two, don't neglect your needs. How do y'all find you put yourself back on the shelf? You tend to reflect on it, basically others more than you. So I want you to reflect on a time you didn't state what you needed. What held you back? So for example, if you're maybe, again, you put on a time away for work and all of a sudden the chief of staff comes in and saying, hey, everyone, I would need you all to be in. We're going to work virtually on a very sensitive project for the next 2 days. And let me know that it's mandatory. Let me know that you all are hands in, and then they've already communicated through a variety of channels. But lo and behold, you have a 3-day cruise with your family. How do you communicate that? How do you engage? So you want to be proactive in making sure that you not only have everybody on who's close within your proximity of your team, part of the reminder that I'm going to be out of the office, whether it be adding it on the team messaging group a week ahead, 2 weeks ahead, and even as a 2-3 day reminder, countdown, doing a countdown, like 3 more days to I'm going to be out of the office, everyone. 2 more days, I'm going to be, you might think it's tedious, but we tend to, our cognitive way of thinking and behavior patterns, if it's not in our forefront every day, it's going to be hit or miss. And it's just a human behavior. However, if you are more effective with your communication, practicing this, taking action, and being able to include this as your daily routine or when you're going to be away, especially if you're part of a huge group of folks that your skill set matters, right? Let me know if this is helpful, because it matters to you that you're wanting to remove that self-sabotaging behavior. So these are the ways that we definitely have definitely exponentially that you can implement right away and take action right away. Okay. Number three, don't fear feedback. How do you react to feedback? How does your team react to your feedback? Do you even have team meetings? Do you even involve maybe family time or family quality time in meetings where you want to consider both positive and negative instances, right? So seek out feedback. Seek out feedback on, I would say, one specific area of your work this week and respond constructively. Do it intentionally. Let's say if you're wanting to actually now do team huddles and you want to do a 5 minute huddle maybe twice or two, three times a week, just to engage with your team and be more effective and be more present with them, then you want to include this in some sort of fashion by communicating it ahead. Because at the end of the day, if you find that not being able to, and then also hear back from your team, because at the end of the day, that you need someone outside of self with a different set of lenses to help you know what areas you may be underdeveloping or what you may be in lack of or what could be better. And you got to be able to take not just only positive but also negative feedback. How many of you all will want to take assurance and be more, you know what, Ruth, you're right. You're onto something. I want to be able to be present and to be able to articulate how I'm communicating and most importantly, how I'm receiving constructive feedback. I want you to stay to the end here because I do have a special way of sharing with you a practical gift. It's practically a gift, and I basically want to help you all on how you take your communication skills on a whole different level by creating this blueprint. I'm going to talk more about it later and how you can be able to get your hands on it. But for now, I want you to be able to know this. If you take these three ways of basically implementing what we just talked about, I'm going to recap these three don'ts of communications. We talked about don't assume understanding, and we talked about don't fear feedback, and then we also talked about don't neglect your needs. Actually apply these every single day, because not only that it's going to help you to be able to communicate effectively, but you're also going to be able to want to apply tools and practices leveraging your voice. Because guess why? Because at the end of the day, if you find that your voice is not being leveraged, then you want to be able to get some resources, maybe getting a coach. Maybe in your current environment, they may be underdeveloped in having a growth map for leaders like yourself. Be the first to create a business case. If you don't have a leadership development team or a learning and development or some sort of a talent management, go reach out to your manager or your direct human resources, depending on the level, the size of your organization, and be the first to actually build it up. And or maybe be an advocate to say, hey, wouldn't it be worth it to us to, even for me, having creating a roadmap to see where I'm at, what areas I can maybe improve in. I'm not talking about your merit increases. I'm not talking about a performance plan. This is more in depth than that. This is more of a development plan for you. But the moment you are onboarded to the moment you decide that you want to pivot to your next higher end position within the organization, because it matters that you're wanting to sustain and retain the growth of your team. So let me know that you're now going to be more effective with your communication. These are some of the tools and practices that has helped exponentially a lot of leaders who are sitting now in their suites, or more so aspiring leaders who are looking to pivot to their next higher end position. So I would love to share with you all, if you find these insightful episodes to be valuable, subscribe and engage with us, share your experiences. Let's improve our communication together. Would that be cool? Is that all right, that we can then definitely involve hands-on? I want to thank you for tuning in to Breaking Boundaries. I want you to remember this. Remember, your voice is your power. How many of you all want to leverage your voice and know that it is powerful? Use it wisely and often, as every conversation is what? A stepping stone to greater success. Communication is key. Communication is powerful. Let's talk about our special offer. You all have been hanging. Thank you all for staying, because I have a special offer on reframing your resume. Looking to make your resume as compelling as your newly enhanced communication skills? Well, go ahead and comment below in the retreat area. That's what I like to call the comment area. Hashtag RYR. And I'll share with you personally, reach out exclusively this link to our resume blueprint that showcases storytelling techniques. Oh my gosh, it's going to blow your mind. It is so, so good. I can't wait to share it with you because it's going to help you to get calls within 48 hours. Who's ready to go ahead and take these actions step by step, very simple steps, that proven steps, that is, that has helped a lot of leaders from mid-level professionals and up. And let's assure your resume speaks as powerful as you do. And in order to do that, you may need a blueprint. And this guide is practically for free, pretty much. And it's just a matter of a token of appreciation of your time because I want you to excel. I want you to promote growth in your environment. I want you to promote yourself as well. So thank you all for hanging. I will go ahead and join you all now in the comment section. You all have been sharing some massive loves here, and we're pretty much streamlining this in multiple platforms. So if you're following me on other areas, I would also go there as well and cheer you out in the comment section. So again, thank you for joining and tuning in to Breaking Boundaries. Definitely leverage your voice. Your voice is your tool. It is your power, and use it effectively. Use it continuously because it's going to continue to allow you to soar and become the person that you are looking to become. Until next time, my friends.